What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, sport events, and much more. As you can see, I'm rocking my old school Denver Nuggets hat. Y'all probably ain't seen one like this with a camouflage brim. Basically, to show support to the winning team last night. Last night was the final game of the NBA Finals, which pretty much knew it would be. I figured Denver would, wrap it up in home in front of their crowd. And I'm gonna go over the box score. Game was definitely a good game. Miami is fought as hard as they could, man, to the very last second. They were definitely overmatched. Definitely overmatched. Big ups to first of all, I want to say big ups to Jimmy Butler, Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo. These guys made it to the NBA Finals at an 8 seed in a play-in. They lost the first game in the play-in, won the second game in the play-in to get the 8 seed. I mean, went through what? Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, and the Boston Celtics to get there. Definitely had a very, very good season. Just not enough to get over the hump. Not enough. But congratulations to them for getting as far as they did. But Denver Nuggets are now the official NBA champs and their first NBA championship ever. And I'm so happy for Denver because, see, Denver is a big city but a small market. And that's the thing. All our NBA teams are in big cities, but only a few of them are considered big markets. Most of them are considered small markets. New York, LA, Miami, I think Chicago. That's about and maybe Dallas. That's about the only ones considered big markets. And I would say Dallas is a small market as far as the NBA team goes. So most cities are small market teams, and they gotta build like the Denver Nuggets did, and that's how they win. So let's go over these box scores. Let's go over the losing teams first. Jimmy Butler gave you 21. Jimmy Butler just didn't have enough left in the tank, man, when he got to the finals. He had to do so much in the first series, so much in the second, so much in the Boston series. Bam Adebayo was definitely the best player for the Miami Heat in this series, I would say. Jimmy gave you 21. Bam gave you 20 and 12. Max Strus gave you 12. 6 from Gabe Vincent. 10 from Caleb Martin. 12 from Kyle Lowry. It wasn't enough, man. It wasn't enough. These low 20s, it wasn't going to be enough against Denver. Michael Porter Jr. gave you 16 with 13 rebounds. He had a real good game. He had a lot of plays that were very significant. 28, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists from Jokic. He pretty much had to take over the game offensively. Kentavious Caldwell Pope gave you 11, 14 from Jamal Murray. Uh, and Jamal Murray, he was only 6 for 15 shooting and 2 for 7 for threes. He probably still had to deal with that big old hand blister he had where he got the floor burn. He got big old floor burn and it put a big old blister on the palm of his hand. So that probably affected him. But yeah, Bruce Brown gave you 10 as well. So Nuggets are officially NBA champions, and I want to go over. What teams do I think are in the best, closest possible position to make a move or two and compete with Denver. Because Denver, they did something that I thought was, I guess you could say it's disrespectful. It was a slap to the face. I've never seen a team in the middle of the NBA Finals make a trade. So Denver made a trade. They basically traded some picks. They traded a 2029 pick, which is 6 years from now, for some 2000 for some picks for next year's draft and the one after that, if I'm not mistaken. So what does that say? What is Denver saying? Denver is saying, once we made this trade, we know we already got this championship wrapped up. This championship is in the bag. But they still didn't like celebrate early. They still were classy. They didn't celebrate early. But the fact they made a trade for picks while they're playing in the NBA Finals, I've never seen this. Now, it just automatically basically states that, hey, we already won this. Yeah, we got a game left or two to go, but we won. It's a wrap. It's over. Um, it's in the bag. We'll go ahead and make the trade, and we're setting ourselves up for the future. And somebody tried to go on my TikTok, try to get me to accept them. Sorry, I'm pre-recording. So don't forget that I pre-record for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, BitChute, Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter. And I'm also, the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. And even though I'm live on TikTok, I cannot interact because I am pre-recording as well. I apologize for that, but that's just how it works. So, what teams do I think are best suited to compete with Denver? Since Denver is clearly saying we're going to be competing for the NBA championship for the next 4 or 5 years. That's what they're saying when they trade the 2029 pick for draft picks next year and the year after. So, all right, what teams? Milwaukee Bucks, I heard, might re-sign Chris Middleton. If they re-sign Chris Middleton, unless they're getting another all-star starter or something, it's not enough. They can't just run it back. Maybe like now they could get Chris Paul maybe or a good maybe DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray might be up for trade. Maybe they could get DeJounte Murray to play point. You could put Drew Holiday at 2 guard. You could put Chris Middleton at small forward, Giannis at power forward, Brook Lopez. But I don't know if they could keep that team. This is the problem. They got this new collective bargain agreement where all these teams are only going to be able to have 2 superstars at most. And somebody else tried to come in on my TikTok and get me to accept them. I am pre-recording. Once again, I apologize, but I cannot interact while I'm pre-recording. Boston. Boston's up. They got to pay $500 million if they want to keep Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You can't do that. You got to move on from Jaylen Brown if that's the case. If you're saying Jason Tatum's your number one, you got to move on from Jaylen Brown. I know a couple places that Jaylen Brown could go where I think, okay, they could probably compete with Denver. Like, I like Jaylen Brown to the Sacramento Kings to replace Harrison Barnes. I like that one. I like Jaylen Brown to the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, and Bam Adebayo. You could probably trade like Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, or Max Strus, and Caleb Martin. But honestly, I like a package deal where Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown both to the Heat because they fit Miami Heat culture because they play defense super hard. They play on both ends of the floor hard. So I like a package deal with Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown for like Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and somebody else. As long as you could keep Duncan Robinson. I mean, you get rid of Strus. Yeah, Strus, Gabe, Tyler Hero, and Caleb Martin. They can all go. Keep at least one of them bench players. And even if you got to put Duncan Robinson and keep Caleb Martin, that would work too. That will work too. Once again, all you people trying to get me to accept you live on my TikTok, I am pre-recording. I cannot reach over there and click accept. And I'm not standing up to do it. Come on, man. Stop it. Cleveland Cavaliers. Nah. I don't care what moves they make. Donovan Mitchell is not the guy. They went all in on Donovan Mitchell. They got too many players they're going to have to pay. I don't see any moves they can make. The Sixers, I don't see any moves they can make. I don't see none. None. Unless they're getting the package deal of Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. I don't see no moves that the Sixers can make. So there's no team in the East that's really going to compete, I don't think. Unless the Bucks can make a move. The Bucks can make a move, but it's not re-signing Chris Middleton. When you get into the Western Conference, I mean, who's really going to compete with them? Like Phoenix Suns, yeah, they got Booker and they got Durant. But Durant's getting older. DeAndre Ayton's probably going to be traded. I mean, what can you get for DeAndre Ayton? I do like the Miles Turner and Buddy Hield trade I saw out there to Indiana. DeAndre Ayton to Indiana for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Well, actually, it's DeAndre Ayton and Landry Shamet for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. And I like that for the Suns. I definitely do. Because Buddy Hield will come off the bench. Buddy Hield will come off the bench, and he's better than Landry Shamet. Buddy Hield is better than Landry Shamet, but they still need figure out what they're going to do with Chris Paul, and they still need some good bench players. Golden State Warriors, like I'm hearing Chris Paul to the Golden State Warriors, which makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Because if you go on Chris Paul to the Warriors, then that means you're going to move Steph Curry to the 2 guard, and you're moving on from Klay Thompson. Because Chris Paul, you don't go get Chris Paul to the Warriors for him to come off the bench, I don't think. That doesn't make sense. Because I don't think Chris Paul is wanting to win a championship as a bench player. I don't think he's trying to go to the Warriors and come off the bench. I don't think that one bit. I like Sacramento where they're at. If they could just replace Harrison Barnes, like I said, with Jaylen Brown, I like that. I mean, do they got some assets? They could trade Harrison Barnes, Malik Monk, and maybe Keegan Murray for Jaylen Brown and one of the bench players or something. That real good bench players from Boston or something. I mean, I don't know. But I like the idea of De'Aaron Fox, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Huerter, and Domantas Sabonis. I like the idea of that team. That seems like a team that could come close to compete with the Nuggets. But like any of these teams that think they're going to run it back, Warriors run it back, compete with the Nuggets, no chance. Memphis Grizzlies compete with the Nuggets, no chance. They're too young. The Suns, I mean, if they could, they know they're gonna need some bench players, and they're gonna need another good. They gotta figure out what they could get for DeAndre, and they need some depth. And teams are gonna have to go bigger too if you want to compete with the Nuggets. If you think you can go small ball and compete with the Nuggets, small ball lineups ain't gonna work with the Nuggets. You can't go zone either because Jokic could pick a zone apart. Jokic is literally unstoppable. Unstoppable. Like Stephen A. Smith said, he can't even jump over a dollar bill and he's unstoppable. I've never seen somebody so unathletic in the NBA that was so unstoppable and dominant. He was not shut down one single game in these finals. Even the game he only had 14 points, he had like 14 assists and 12 rebounds. And I mean, what are we talking about here? Are we calling that a shutdown? We calling it a triple-double being shut down? If you call it being shut down, a triple-double is you were shut down. Man, you're dumber than a bag of bricks, man. Somebody dropped you on your head as a kid. Because triple-doubles, nobody got shut down if they got a triple-double. that was his worst game, a 14-point triple-double. I don't see no teams. I mean, Lakers can't run it back. You got to replace D'Angelo Russell. Chris Paul's not the answer. Kyrie, LeBron, and AD. No, AD can't stay healthy through the season. LeBron is getting older. He's not going to stay healthy through the season. I don't see none of these teams that could really make a move to compete. I think Denver Nuggets clearly see it. They see the future. They knew it. After they went up, what was it, 2-1 or whenever they made that trade, they was up 3-1 or 2-1. Excuse me, I'm about to burp. They went up 3-1 or 2-1. They made that trade. The instant they made that trade, they realized, hey, nobody's going to be able to compete with us after we win this championship. They're not competing next year or the year after because Denver's going to be able to bring back everybody they got. I think everybody is pretty much damn near under contract. And if they do got to get rid of somebody, that Christian Braun kid was a rookie giving you, like last game, Christian Braun was going off. Michael Porter wasn't shooting well. Christian Braun was going off. He was dunking all over everybody. Like, he's like already like cock D's at a young age. All he got to do is work on his jumper, and his game is good to go. Christian Braun can replace anybody that starts bitching and complaining about money. Because, see, this is the thing about the Nuggets. Jokic is the best superstar to have. Somebody compared him to Patrick Mahomes because he's passive. Well, I'm going to compare him to Patrick Mahomes because his humbleness. He's going to take a pay cut. Denver Nuggets don't got to throw Jokic the bag. He's not necessarily going to want it. Jokic is going to be more concerned with keeping the team intact and keeping good players around him, like Patrick Mahomes is. It's like the cheetah, Tyreek Hill starts wanting money, wanting the bag. And he goes to Miami, gets the bag. And everybody's like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, how is he going to win now? He doesn't got to Tyreek Hill. And what do? All right, well, they take all that money that they would have paid Tyreek Hill. Wouldn't be the same amount as Miami did, but they take all the money they did, and they get like 3 or 4 guys with that. And what do? They win another one without Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill ain't never winning a Super Bowl ever again. He got his bag. I hope you're happy because you're never getting any more Super Bowl rings, my friend. Because this is the problem. You can't have both. You can't constantly compete for championships and have the biggest bag. I don't think Steph Curry isn't the highest paid player in the NBA. I don't think. You got dudes making more money than Steph Curry and can't win for shit. Can't even get past the first round, And that's the thing. Golden State is going to come to that problem where now you got a couple players that they want the bag still. And they're not coming to the realization that you're not producing enough on the court to get the bag still. You got to take a pay cut. So Jokic is probably going to take a pay cut. And you can't pay Jamal Murray more than Jokic. So Jamal Murray can never expect more than Jokic. And if Jamal Murray wants more money than Jokic, then he got to go. But I don't think they'll have this problem. I think Denver Nuggets, they're like, everybody on the team's happy. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope got his second one. Aaron Gordon got his first. Michael Porter's still young. He might want more. Michael Porter Jr. might be the one that wants, more shots. He already got a payday, so he's already good to go on that. He might want more shots, but he you can always replace him with Christian Braun. And Aaron Gordon, I think, is going to be good to go. Happy for Jeff Green. So happy for old man Jeff Green. Got his first championship. Been bouncing around the league like every single year since he left Oklahoma City. and been contributing in every team he goes to. He always getting minutes. Still got hops. He got a amazing little break to the basket and a pass from Michael Porter Jr. for the one-handed dunk. So happy for Jeff Green. So happy, man. Throw that championship ring on. You know, add that accolades to the great career he's had. You know, longevity. Jeff Green has had great longevity. Ain't lost a step. Yeah, Denver is in a good position because they got a great superstar who's going to be humble, who's going to take a pay cut, and anybody under that starts bitching about needing more money, then they just got to go, and they'll be replaceable. I mean, you could replace like Aaron Gordon. If I could replace Aaron Gordon with Bobby Portis, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I definitely love Bobby Portis. He comes off the bench from the Bucks. You can start him. Great team player. And he had a bad rep at Chicago when he knocked that dude out. Basically broke his jaw, if I'm not mistaken. That other team player that he got in a fight with. He got a bad rep at first, but Bobby Portis is an ultimate team player, man. I don't see no teams that can really make those moves to compete, man. It seems like the Suns and the Warriors are in the best position, but they're gonna have to move on from some people. I don't see none of these teams in the East. Maybe the Bucks, because they got Giannis, but they're gonna have trouble. Brook Lopez is a free agent. They got a lot of people to bring back. Celtics, I don't. Do you pay $500 million to two guys who haven't won a championship yet? I wouldn't. If I owned a team, you ain't getting 500. Y'all win the championship, all right, I'll pay y'all $500 million, and you better be competing for one year after. And Boston will be competing next year, but there's no way I could pay $500 million until they've won the championship, and they only got like 2 years to play with this. Sixers, their window's closed. They're not winning no championship with Embiid. Cleveland, you went all in on Donovan Mitchell. Good luck with that. He's just a regular season guy. That's all he is. He's another James Harden. Donovan Mitchell is another James Harden. Knicks, I mean, they could get better. They could add, if they could get Jaylen Brown or something like that to New York, I like it. I like it. They could get another guard next to Jalen Brunson. Yeah, they'll be better. Jalen Brunson stabilize them. Now you get somebody else, and they'll be better. I mean, they made it to the second round. They beat the Cavs. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many teams that could really. Maybe two in the East, two in the West, but I'm betting, man, that they don't make any kind of significant move. That anybody's like, oh my God, they got to be the clear favorites next year. Besides somebody getting Jaylen Brown, because he's due for a big contract extension, I'm not seeing it, and then he's gonna have to go to like the Bucks or the Sixers or the Heat or the Kings or the Warriors. I have heard a Jaylen Brown to the Warriors a lot. And I really like Jaylen Brown to the Warriors, but you're going to have to move off from you probably have to trade Wiggins and Jordan Poole and some draft picks or something. You probably have to get rid of Wiggins and Jordan Poole and something else and some draft picks and maybe another player to get them. And then you might keep that. But that's the thing. If you get Jaylen Brown, no way Klay Thompson is getting the bag. No way Draymond Green is getting the bag because Jaylen Brown is going to get the second bag behind Steph Curry. But I like Jaylen Brown to the Warriors. Like I said, if you trade Wiggins, you might have to trade Wiggins, Gary Payton II, and Jordan Poole. And you'll probably have to throw another player in for Boston, like Jaylen Brown and Grant Williams, for Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, and a future first round pick. I'm all in. I'm all in. If I get Grant Williams and Jaylen Brown for those three players, I'm all in. Because Jaylen Brown is a major upgrade over Wiggins. And then Grant Williams, he's a shooter. So you're good to go, man. You're good to go. And he'll play defense hard. I'm not seeing it, man. It looks like Denver is going to be the new Golden State Warriors for the next 4 or 5 years. They built their team the same way. They drafted their top three players: Jokic, Murray, Porter Jr., traded for Gordon, traded for Contavious Caldwell-Pope, traded for Bruce Brown, traded. Yeah, so they trade. That's how you do it. You draft your top three, and you trade for your next best three. That's how it works. They're literally 6 deep. Any one of those guys can score 20 points in a given night. Aaron Gordon put up 20, 26. He was leading scorer the last game for the Nuggets. Like with 26, 27, if I'm not mistaken. Porter Jr. could have been more consistent, but he wasn't very consistent in his finals. And he's still young, though. He's still young. Still young. Yep. I'm not seeing it. Denver Nuggets gonna be the champs this year. Probably they could end up going back to back. They could end up three-peating, man. I would not be shocked if the Denver Nuggets go back to back or three-peat. I'm not seeing anybody that has a chance. There's just there's no player out there that just seems like is a difference maker. Now, besides Dame Lillard to the Heat, Dame, Jimmy, and Bam, I'm not seeing it. Besides Dame, I think it's going to be Jaylen Brown or Dame Lillard having to go to one of these top three teams in the league in order for it to make a huge difference. I like Dame Lillard to the Bucks, the Celtics, the Heat. And in the West, I don't know that Dame Lillard could go anywhere in the West and they win the championship. Some people would say the Lakers, but that's only because people just want to wish the Lakers to still be good, because the Lakers competing for championships apparently is good for the NBA ratings. It's good for the ratings. Well, once again, I'll say congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, and congratulations to the Miami Heat, who were 8th seed. And I mean, they fought hard, man. They were just overmatched. Their top. They really needed Tyler Hero, man. Tyler Hero being out they really needed him bad. Victor Oladipo was hurt too. They really needed Tyler Hero. It just wasn't enough. Their top three wasn't enough to beat Denver's top three, and not to mention the role players that helped out. Because Denver really was only 6-7 deep, but everybody contributed. Tyler Hero would have played. I mean, you're talking about 15 to 20 points per game every game for Miami. Would have made a difference. Would have made a difference. So but like I said, besides Dame Lillard to the Heat or something like that, Denver Nuggets, they got a lot, man. They got a lot. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast. Don't forget, video version goes to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, BitChute, Twitch, Twitter. Audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. And anytime I'm doing sports, I go live on TikTok. But please, people on TikTok, I cannot accept you to go live with me. I'm only 5'4". I do not play in the NBA. I don't have a 7-foot wingspan. I cannot reach. As far as my arm goes, right here. So yeah, and anybody who does tune in and watches. Much appreciated. I appreciate it. I typically do follow everybody who views my TikTok live later after I'm done. So once again, thank you for anybody tuning in. Peace. And I'm out.